Let them fight. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but what is currently going on right now is a conservative civil war. That is correct. They are infighting like crazy. And it's being led by the likes of people of, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, and the list goes on. And essentially what the civil war boils down to is mask on or mask off. Now, for those of you who may not be aware of what that means, mask on for the Conservative Party right now would be, more of the likes of platitudes such as, hey, we're not racist. We just want, America for American people. Okay, that's what it has to be with. We don't hate Mamdani. We just aren't for communism. We don't like socialism. We don't like Marxism. We don't hate black people. We're not racist. We just want people to be in the positions that, qualify for the positions that, that are merit-based. That's what we want. We're not racist. It has nothing to do with CRT, but we shouldn't, as far as label one group of people as evil or colonizers. That's not right. That's what we want the country to be for American people. That's what we want. A lot of dog whistling, a lot of racial undertones, but nothing saying, hey, I don't like you. It's just, they're beating around the bush of going, no, it's nothing like that. It's more of about this. That's what they're saying. Mask off would be essentially, hey, we don't like blacks. We don't like Jews. We don't like brown people. We don't like Muslims. We don't like LGBT. What we want is white and Christian.
Damn.
I'm sure you can, put one and one together and understand why the latter mask off would be alienating to millions of people. So what is going on right now is exactly that. You have a group of people who are like, hey, mask off, who are like, hey, if you're not saying that, this country is for white people, you're not really conservative. You're not really America first, because that's what America means.
I question anybody who says they're sincerely America first if they don't talk about white people.
You serious?
And then you have those who don't believe in that, right? They're very much racist light, we'll say. They are very ambivalent about their beliefs when it comes to race, being a social construct and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what they want is exactly what the mask off people want. And that is for the white not to be a minority. They want them to be a majority. But the reason being is not because of that's what the country is. It's because of, well, that's what it's always been. That's because those are the people who are most qualified. We have to help American people, right? So it's more so using, fluffy words such as American people, that what they really mean is white people. Whereas mask off is saying, hey, instead of saying that, why are we placating to these people? Why are we placating to blacks and browns? Let's just say, hey, this is what it is.
Damn.
And that's what's going on currently. And it is absolutely fascinating to watch because what you have to understand, as I said before, that's going to be unemployment for a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people. I'm talking about, the whole Brandon Straka's of the world, of the Republican Party, who are like, hey, you know what? I'm gay, but I don't believe in none of that nonsense. Those people, unemployed. The whole Brandon tantrums, the Kundus Owens, them mofos, they're going to be unemployed. Because why do we care what you have to say? Right? We don't need a blackface to represent our talking points. We're going to say it from a white face. We're going to say it from our perspective and say this is what it is. We don't need that cover, right? Because that's all these people offer, right? When it comes to the tantrums, the Kundus Owens, and the rest of the black conservatives, all they offer is their skin cover to give them cover to say anti-black racist things. But if you're mask off, you don't care.
You are a diversity hire. You are a DEI hire. You pander. And she thinks she's some kind of boss bitch. Yeah, you're a bitch, but like you didn't get that way because you're a super smart boss. You got that way because you're super bitchy black token. Like, it is what it is. So, and I'm kind of done with all the Uncle Toms. In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like,
he's out of line, but he's right.
if you're mask off, I don't care. I don't care about having a black cover or a black face. I don't need that black face. I'm going to say it directly, and tough luck. There's nothing you can do. You're just going to have to take it. That's what mask off looks like. When it comes to, the Indians and the Pakistanis, the Afghanis, the Patrick Bet-Davis, the Dinesh D'Souza's, the Vivek Ramaswamis, their careers, quote unquote, are done, finito, because they won't need them anymore. They'll be of no value, no use to them because they're brown and they're immigrants.
I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian.
They are literally an example of everything that they don't want in this country. It's only going to boil down to the most self-hating, self-loathing black and brown people who would be accepted by them.
I miss you like a hog miss fly.
And when I mean accepted, I don't mean accepted as Americans. I mean accepted as you are insulation for white people. That's all you are. If we have a war, civil war, whatever type of war, you are going to be cannon fodder to protect us.
Damn.
That's what we're talking about. That's how they are going to be treated. I mean, they're treated like that, whether they accept it or acknowledge it, right? I think the best clip that I've shown before is Ann Coulter calling Vivek essentially, hey, I'm not gonna vote for you because you're Indian. And that right there is emblematic of mask off. That is emblematic of this conservative struggle right now, this Republican Party struggle right now, where, you have many of the conservative Inc., they're calling them woke right and stuff like that, which is goofy. But nevertheless, you have these groups who are very much pro-Israel. They're very much, hey, I believe in Judeo-Christian, values and things like that. Hey, I believe we're all American. Hey, I believe it's not about, immigration isn't the problem. It's illegal immigration. I say legal immigration is great. I have no problem if you come here and you're American. That's the whole mask on version. And that is like, nails on the chalkboard to mask off people. They don't believe in any of that.
And how our country went from white to non-white, because that's important. Our country came from Europe.
You serious?
So there is a fight right now, and really what it boils down to, it's going to be money. Because there's a lot of outside money within the conservative movement, within Republicans. We've had, Thomas Massey come out and say that, hey, all the members of Congress on the Republican side have like an AIPAC babysitter.
By the way, everybody but me has an AIPAC person.
What's that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter.
What? There's a lot of that involved. And it's going to be interesting to see who wins ultimately, because you have to understand there's a hierarchy when it comes to the Ignants, right? The white elite Ignants know what's going on. They don't care about, the middle class Ignants, the white Ignants, or the poor Ignants. They care about themselves. There is the middle class Ignants of those who know that, but they also see, hey, I can make a buck, saying what I need to say to the poor white Ignants. That's where you get, someone like a Nick Fuentes. That's where you get someone like a Tucker Carlson. That's where you get, Tucker may be more of an elite. But that's where you get those people are like, hey, I can make a profit off of these dumb, low IQ white Ignants of the country.
Damn.
I don't believe anything I'm saying, but I know these dummies are going to believe what I'm saying. And I know they'll buy, Black Rifle House coffee. They'll buy my sponsors. They'll buy my merch. They'll buy all this because they're dumb, right? Just like when it came to Trump. Trump talking about, hey, I need a legal fund. A billionaire needs a legal fund to fight an election that he believes was stolen. And that makes sense to you, even though all the court cases were thrown out. But yeah, sure. But nevertheless, people gave.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You have Trump, who's at the top, right, the elite, but you also have those underneath him. The Charlie Kirks is a perfect example of more of a mediocre white ignant.
Beta.
He's not an elite by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a mediocre white ignant. He will be a small fish that leeches off of the big fish. That's what's happening. That's what the whole TPUSA was. That was, hey, I'm gonna, feed this propaganda for a profit, right? When it came down to the text messages that were shown out, he did not care what he was saying was lies. He didn't care, but he knew that Israel was paying him. And as long as the checks were cashing, as long as the checks didn't bounce, he didn't care. He'll talk pro-Israel. But when that came to a line where it's like, I can't do this, then it was like, well, I'm going to have to, digress from my pro-Israel, propaganda that I'm putting out.
Pathetic.
And then, of course, you have the low tier, white Ignants. And that is the vast majority of the population. The Bubbas in, Arkansas or Utah, and they listen to the Fox News, right? They listen to the Newsmax. They listen to those people, and that's where they get their information. And they're just like, yeah, that's right. You tell them that's what's going on. That's the hierarchy of the Ignants, bro. That's how that works. So now you understand why it's so crucial that, we have the middle class Ignants who take the heat off of the upper class Ignants. Because if you remove the middle class Ignants who are making a buck off the ignorance of the poor whites and whatnot, then we have a problem. Then we have a serious problem. Then we have more of a class hierarchical problem where the poor whites are like, hey, you guys are screwing me over. This isn't right. I can't feed my family. I can't get a livable wage. I can't get health care, my education system. That's what they don't want. That's why you have that buffer class of white Ignants like Charlie Kirk and whatnot to keep them, to appease them, to keep them docile. So what did they do? They follow playbook old as time. Hey, look at the blacks. Hey, look at the browns. Look, that's the reason why you can't feed your family. That's the reason why you can't, you don't have health care. That's the reason why little Bobby or little Timmy is getting beat up at school. That's the reason why.
Beta.
And that's how the system works. So when we talk about mask off and mask on, basically they play for the same team. It's just how palatable do you want it to be? Do you want someone to say, hey, I'm sorry, we don't have any, jobs available. We'll give you a call if anything pops up. Or do you want it to say, we don't hire N-words here. So I don't know why you're in this office right now, but you need to leave.
Damn.
That's essentially what we're talking about. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think, whether or not you believe, Lucas, that's absolutely incorrect, okay? We love this country. We love everybody as Americans, okay? We're all Americans, okay? Red-blooded patriots. Or if you believe, I hear you, little Timmy, I hear you, Jim Bob, but at the end of the day, there are people who don't believe that, okay? And those people have to have bigger voices than you, okay? And at the end of the day, really at the end of the day, I'm not even talking about clocking out. I'm talking about at the end of the day, when you go into bed, you genuinely don't believe that. There's only a handful of people who believe that. We've seen this historically, whether it was the Civil War, whether it was, the Indian segregation, whether it was, black people being allowed to read or write, whether it's, Jim Crow, the list goes on. So I know you say that, but I know that you really don't believe it. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Thursday through Saturday, Disagreement Day. There'll be a number on screen. You call in and we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this and subscribe and that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
I question anybody who says they're sincerely America first if they don't talk about white people.